Here's the man, Mr. Samuel L. Jackson. Thanks for coming on the show today. Everybody's happy to have you here. I have to ask you a question. The cleaner, is this like, did somebody see Pulp Fiction and saw the Winston Wolfe character and say, wait a minute, that guy should be a character unto himself?
No. See, everybody seems to think now that, everybody's so savvy about, spy pictures and all that stuff. When they say cleaner, they think somebody's coming in to take care of some other stuff. Yeah. Actually, my character in the film runs a company that takes care of biohazards. So, say for instance, if came home and you found a relative that was dead and they'd been dead for a few days, but once the cops come and the coroner and everybody takes the body away, then you're responsible for cleaning up. Most people don't know that. That's what this guy does. He cleans up. We have one of those real-life guys on this show. Yeah, he actually cleans up crime scenes once the cops are done, or biohazards in the street, blood from accidents, anything like that. And I went to visit some people that actually do that job, and they had great stories to tell, very, bizarre stories. Like, there's one place they had to go where a woman was getting into her hot tub. She slipped, fell, hit her head, killed herself, and nobody found her for like a week. Wow. And the hot tub was on. So when they found it was like soup. It was soup in this hot tub. So
you're sitting there thinking, I need a family picture, and this is a family picture.
Make sure you have somebody that calls you at least once a day.
So the body doesn't sit. We're playing a piece of tape off the top showing your career. I'm sure you've been told this.
That was short.
Well, it started late, but you did a lot. You're the highest grossing actor of all time. Your movies have grossed more money than any actor in the history of Hollywood.
Interesting, kind of dubious kind of honor,
It is, yeah.
Well, I happen to have like 3 little films in there that kind of accumulate or actually account for most of that money, called Star Wars.
Yeah, they did all right. Yeah.
So, yeah, there's that, and then there's like a big picture called Jurassic Park, and then there's The Incredibles. So you put those 4 or 5 big pictures together, they make more money than all the other films that I've done put together.
But then what you have is you have also in their movies like Mo Better Blues, and you have you have Jungle Fever, you have these other movies that, so it's not like you're this big blockbuster guy either. Yeah. You just got a lot of interesting choices. I was wondering though, when you were a camera stand-in for Bill Cosby on the Cosby Show, which is what you did you ever have a moment like, one day I'm going to be the highest grossing actor in the history of Hollywood?
You don't think about that. I was actually doing that job and was very thankful to have it because it was steady work. Yeah. So I got to do that job 3 days a week. And then Bill would come back and do the show. But it was a steady check, and I was still able to go to auditions and still do theater at night and do all the things that I was doing, so it was great. And I used to pretend that I was learning to do 3-camera. Yeah. Because it was a 3-camera show, and they did all this movement, so I was kind of practicing for my own television show. Nice. In my mind.
But it's interesting the way, a lot of actors don't take as many, like you get a lot of roles, and you take a lot of roles, and you work a lot, and I wonder, you still do work a lot. Why? You don't need to work as much.
When I was a kid, the adults in my house got up and went to work every day. Yeah. So I kind of do that. It's kind of the work ethic. I think grown people go to work. And I got a great job.
Yeah, it's all right. It's all right.
Really cool job. I actually go to work, and people go and get things for me, and they treat me really nice. And out of a 12, 16-hour movie day, I might work 2 hours, accumulative, So people come and get you, you work in 5 and 10-minute bursts, and you go back to your trailer and watch TV for an hour and a half while they change the lights or do something, and and people bring you sandwiches and food and do stuff, and
but
and they give you nice amounts of money for showing up.
A lot of money. So I saw how much you make for Shaft.
I go as often as I can.
Yes, you should. But it's interesting that you still keep that, because that sort of situation happens for a lot of actors, and they don't seem to have the same kind of appreciation for it. At least a lot don't.
Well, I don't know. I don't make $20 million a movie like some guys, so I can't do 1 movie a year or 2 movies a year. I have to kind of work to keep a lot of people happy, because I have a dresser who doesn't make as much money as I do. I have a makeup artist, I have a hairdresser, I have an assistant. I have all these people that kind of depend on me to go to work, and if I don't, then they kind of got to get out there and fend for themselves. So I feel kind of responsible. So I make sure they go to work. And wow, creating is sort of like a blessing or a privilege, to be able to get up. Painters can get up and go to a canvas and start painting. writers can get up and face the blank page and just start writing. Acting, there are only so many acting opportunities in a lifetime. And I'm trying to get in as many as I possibly can before I go, and hopefully bring some joy to people who watch me do the things that I do. And I can leave behind sort of a great kind of legacy, so when people look at it, they can look and go, smile and go, yeah, I remember that movie. I hope that I've left a legacy of joy and enjoyment to a lot of people.
How much of that comes from the fact that this started relatively late for you and you almost didn't even get this shot? Like you really, truly almost didn't get this shot?
Not a lot of it. You know, it mostly comes from the fact that I spent a lot of time in the movies when I was a kid. And I'm continually trying to replicate all the movies that I saw that made me happy. So the only one that I haven't been able to do is like a Western, because, you know, they don't make a lot of good Westerns now, even though 3:10 to Yuma made a lot of money last weekend.
Why don't you make a Western, though? Why don't you make one? I'm trying.
I keep trying to find one. But I don't want to make one unless it's as good as,
like Outlaw Josie Wales or Pale Rider, the
totally.
Unforgiven?
Yeah, Unforgiven, totally. Got to be that good. I don't want to just do a Western because I can pull a gun. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I pull guns all the time.
What's the line? I don't want to shatter your ego.
I pull guns on my wife at home all the time.
This is on television.
Shut up.
Your wife's been with you since 1980.
Yeah. That's why I pull guns on her.
Well, yeah. Well, she must be pulling guns on you to stay.
She pushes my buttons.
That's the greatest accomplishment you've been able to do, man. The same woman since 1980. That's a long time.
Well, we got married in 1980. Yeah. I lived with her 10 years before that.
1970.
We were in college, So we've been together since college.
Do you hold classes for other actors in Hollywood to tell them how to actually have a relationship that lasts?
No, I go on location.
Well, doesn't she call you and ask you if you miss her?
Sometimes.
And you say no, right?
Yeah. I've been with you 37 years. How can I miss you? I know these women have said, look, anybody who looks at me knows I'm married. They can look. They can go, oh, look at him. He's married. So it's not a big deal.
And that'll be that.
Yeah.
I read a quote from you saying that you like playing golf because if you don't, you start reading the newspaper, and then when you shouldn't read the newspaper because when you do, you see what happens in the world, and then it gets to you.
Yeah.
Is that still the case?
I used to ignore it. You know, I had actually reached a point where I wasn't a political animal. I was kind of, you know, I spent my time reading scripts, going to work, doing this stuff. But now, I guess as you get older and it starts to change, because I travel so much and I hear people talking. If people like me, yeah, and that's great, but they don't like Americans so much anymore. And that's disturbing to me, because there used to be a time when if I was in London or France or somewhere and somebody got on my nerves, I go, "I'm America!" And they would be like, "Oh, yeah," and now it's kind of like, I don't know if I should say that. You know? So
tell them you're Canadian. It goes over huge.
Really?
Yeah.
But do I have to say "eh"?
No.
Okay. No. I'm Canadian, eh? So no, make them, you know, they wouldn't believe it. But you read about the state of the world and what's going on and what our part in creating chaos becomes and not peace is very disturbing. So I actually tend to do a lot more work now with, I guess, my charities that are mostly children's charities, things to make sure that, you know, kids are having a better time of making it in the world, and hopefully they will see that somebody cares, and that if we care enough, they can get out and create a world that will be better for them and other kids around them. It's really amazing some of the stuff that goes on, you know, out there, and the things that you discover. I'm a part of a group in Los Angeles called Artists for a New South Africa. And it's got a lot of people that do things, and we discovered a village in the KwaZulu-Natal that has all these kids in it that are taking care of other kids because all their parents died from AIDS. So they're out there, and we kind of created an orphanage and then a school and then dug a well and did all this stuff, and now they're able to take care of themselves and their brothers and sisters and get an education, and hopefully they'll be better. But, you know, there's nothing I can do about the war, but I don't want to read about it every day. Right. But I want that to be done so that people can go back to their way of life, and we can save the lives of all these young people that actually joined the reserves so that they could go to college, you know, and be weekend warriors and get an education and buy a house and take care of themselves, and then they find themselves in a situation that they never expected to be in.
Absolutely. Thanks for coming in, man.
Hey, my pleasure.
Samuel L. Jackson, everybody. The movie is called The Cleaner, amongst a bunch of other pictures. Samuel L. Jackson, The Hour. We'll be right back. All right, coming up.